Sente-se sobrecarregado com as tarefas? Tem dificuldades em se concentrar? Você não está sozinho. No nosso gabinete, oferecemos um espaço acolhedor e confidencial para você conversar sobre as suas dificuldades e encontrar melhores soluções. Através de atividades personalizadas, desenvolvemos suas habilidades e fortalecemos sua autoestima. Venha conhecer o nosso gabinete e descubra como podemos te ajudar a alcançar todo o teu potencial. Faça a sua consulta no portal ou pelo número de telefone 921 28 98 28. Instituto Superior Politécnico Nascente, a Escola do Ambo, há 12 anos a inovar e a liderar.
Hello, welcome everyone to the first and I would say historic first Ispsn special English episode podcast from the Politécnico Higher Institute Sol Nascente in Huambo, Angola. This is a podcast we usually offer to you in Portuguese, but today we are trying to do that in English. And we are excited because under the program of Erasmus+, which is a European initiative for university students exchange program, the Sol Nascente Higher Institute in Huambo is also part of such initiative, and now we have some visitors from the Swedish University of Gothenburg. And apart from teaching and the service that we offer to communities, Sol Nascente enjoys sharing programs that help students and other citizens to learn from others' experiences to grow professionally in their educational field. So now we are going to share a lively conversation with our visitors that are here in Huambo for over a week, I think, but they are here in Angola for over 3 weeks now. They are nurses in a master's program in the Gothenburg University, and they are sharing their experience and learning from Angola's experience in this health department, especially for the nurse course. And I'm going to start introducing them. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. I think we can start with Sofia.
Okay, hi. My name is Sofia Ström, and I'm 30 years old from Sweden. And I've been a registered nurse for 8 years, and I decided to go further in my career and take on a master. So I take my master's degree on Gothenburg University in diabetes nursing care. Mm-hmm. And I have a special interest of the African continent, so I have been traveling in Africa for over 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
But it's my first time in Angola, and
yeah.
I'm very glad to be invited to this program during this Erasmus Plus Intercambio internship or exchange or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. So I'm here with 2 other students in neuroscience, neurochirurgia, mm-hmm. or what is the similar here in Angola. Mm-hmm. So we have started to get familiar with the people here, mm-hmm. with the Portuguese language, mm-hmm. Some kizomba, some mm-hmm. traditional food. Mm-hmm. And
you are even dancing better than me.
No, I'm not sure I'm dancing better than you, but we are trying. And also we want to take part of the, how do you say it, curriculum, yeah. The nursing curriculum, so maybe we can share experience from the Swedish system and compare it to the Angolan system and grow as a professional, as a nurse.
Nice, that's a great introduction. Welcome, Sofia, to this podcast.
Thank you.
Let's give the mic to the other Sofia. We have 2 Sofias in the studio. Welcome to the session as well.
Okay, thank you. My name is Sofia Tike. And I'm also a nurse. I have been a nurse since 2006, so for some years there.
Yeah.
I've been working in the emergency department and in the surgery ward before, but the last 5 years I've been working in the neuro intensive care unit, which is a type of, it's an intensive care unit specialized in neuro surgery and neurology.
A very delicate unit and very important,
Yes.
where people are usually trying to survive, struggling between life and death.
The very severe injuries, and it's quite a narrow, what do we say, a small group of patients. So
Yeah.
it's fairly
Very specific,
Yeah, very specific. Yes. I'm also studying now to do my specialization in the neuroscience program, which is a new program in Sweden. I think it's only 5 years. It's been so we're not so many yet.
Yes, you folks are making history.
Yeah. We are in that program. We are the first exchange students.
Yeah.
So we are here for our thesis. I'm together with Michaela here, who will introduce herself in a minute. But yes, our thesis, and we will be writing about traumatic brain injury and the conditions for nurses to care for these people, these patients, which is not always easy. It's a big challenge in Sweden to care for these patients. So I think it is everywhere in the world. So it's interesting to look into that. So we have,
No, please.
No, but we have also met some people here at the university helping us with the curriculum and that. Yeah. And about Africa, I have had the first time I went to Africa was in 1999.
Wow.
And then I traveled with a friend to several different countries, and mainly on the east, the south and the east coast. And we stayed for about a year that time.
Yeah.
And then I've been coming back a few times, mainly just traveling.
Yeah.
But I also I got to know people in Malawi, Zimbabwe, and South Africa, so that I've been staying with. And I have also been to Ethiopia during my nursing studies.
Yeah.
So I did like an internship there.
Yeah.
So I've seen a little bit about healthcare in Ethiopia, but
you have visited more than 10 African countries before.
I think you counted them the other
day. Yeah, I did that. And I told you that, well, you might know Africa much more than many Africans. Yeah. Welcome.
But I'd say only a few of these countries that I've had the chance to get to know a little bit better, like Malawi and Zimbabwe.
In these countries, how long have you been there for?
In Malawi, first time I was there for about 8 months.
8 months. It's quite a good
Zimbabwe time. Less, but I had more contacts in the beginning, from the beginning in Zimbabwe, which it helped me to get to know the country faster.
Yeah.
Malawi took longer time. I had to figure it out myself.
I imagine being in an international in another country can be really exciting, but I imagine also challenging, especially when it comes to adjusting to the local culture and language and system and stuff.
I would say the language is, for now, I don't speak Portuguese nor Spanish, just like a few words.
Yeah.
I do speak French, and I see some differences. Some words are similar, so I can figure out a little bit, but I can't speak, and that's a big... it's a barrier. It's so difficult, really. Yeah.
Good. Let us greet Michaela as well. Welcome to this podcast.
Thank you so much. So my name is Michaela Samuelsson, and I'm from Sweden, as you know now. And I've been working as a nurse for almost 2 years, so I'm quite new in the profession. And after a year when I've been working as a nurse, I decided to specialize
Yeah.
in neuroscience because I felt like I didn't have enough knowledge and I wanted to learn more.
Yeah.
Because I'm working in a ward in Sweden at a hospital where we take care of patients with stroke and neurological diseases.
Yeah. Very complex type of issues as well.
Yes, and I felt that knowledge is really crucial if you're going to take care of those patients well. So, and that's why I started so early, because most of my classmates, they have a lot of more experience than me, as Sofia, and other Sofia here. So, what else?
You also have other international student experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was in Uganda for I study a social science program after finishing school. So I was there studying in a city that's called Mbarara. And so
I don't know it.
No, it's in the southwest of Uganda, and I loved it. And since I was a child, I wanted to go to Africa. I cannot really say why, but I think it's quite exotic, different from Sweden. And I had also a close friend that had been in Africa. So I was inspired by those people. So
That's nice. That's nice.
So I really liked it, and and I also traveled to Rwanda, Tanzania, and Kenya. But that was more for as a vacation. So in Uganda, I was studying at the university. So I had a similar experience before, but it's different being here in Angola.
In Angola.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll soon ask what are the main difference that you can find. But I'd like you folks to share a little bit. How did you manage to be part of this Erasmus exchange students program? Maybe your answers might help other people who might be interested in experiencing such an interesting program. Yeah, it could be Sofia.
I just shared my interest of writing my master thesis abroad to the international coordinator at Gothenburg University. And she had some suggestions in Africa, and the first for me was Rwanda. But unfortunately, or in the end, I'm glad that it happened, but the exchange in Rwanda was cancelled because of the Marburg outbreak. And then she offered the opportunity to go to Angola. So for me, the journey to become an exchange student in the Erasmus program started that I contacted the international coordinator and said that I was very interested, and then she helped me through the application process. But of course, not all students that want to go abroad, they maybe have families or the places that are available maybe are full or something, so you can take for granted to go. But I think in my field, the diabetes nursing care, I was the only one.
The only one
in my class that that wanted to write about a public health issue from another country. So I think for me it was more easy than if you were conquer in a field that have a lot of applications. So that is my experience.
Thanks for sharing. How about yours, Sofia?
Well, I think we both, me and Michaela, were interested in doing the thesis abroad, and preferably in Africa. From the start, when I was doing my intensive care specialization, I was planning to go to Palestine. But it was cancelled because of the pandemic. COVID. So I had, from the beginning, I wanted to do that. But like I said before, we were the first ones. So there were no contacts in our program. They didn't have any contacts abroad, so we were looking ourselves. We had a few different options, Gambia, Ghana, also Rwanda. But then we got in touch with Gunilla Pribe, who's, she's our supervisor. And we got in touch with her, and we could go within her program,
Yeah, yeah.
Erasmus. So, well, that's how but we also had to apply for it, and but we were the only ones.
Yeah,
Well,
so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You folks initiated a journey that many other people will probably follow the steps.
We hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we hope so.
And once you knew that it would be Angola, how did you take it, considering for example, the language barrier?
I speak a little bit of Spanish,
Yeah, yeah.
and Gunilla, who was our contact person,
Yeah.
after we had made the decision to go to Angola,
Yeah.
she asked a little bit about previous travel experience and language experience, and also the Erasmus program offers a course online, so you can study a little bit of Portuguese. I have bought a travel lexicon
Yeah.
that we use a lot, and we try to. I use Spanish, and I try to pick up Portuguese phrases and verbs and words little by little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sophia has French, and she already explained that it has been helping because some words and the pronunciations are quite similar, right?
Not the pronunciation, but I would say some words are similar, but not so many. I can't.
Yeah.
And the reading I can understand a little bit better.
Yeah.
But, Portuguese, I'm struggling. I was trying to learn just small phrases.
Yeah.
Before we left, but I really didn't have the chance to learn the language. But then we spoke to Signe. I don't know if you know another Swedish.
Yeah, she has been here, I think, last year, if I'm not mistaken. She also did some study here.
Yeah, and this year she was back again. We talked to her. We met her, and she didn't speak Portuguese. She managed.
Yeah.
And, we were thinking, or I was thinking, I'll manage somehow.
Yeah, your self-efficacy.
You speak good English, for example, so you
Me,
have
good English?
Yeah, it's
so.
a heavy responsibility for you.
It's been a pleasure. I think it's been helping me trying to improve my not good English, small English.
Very helpful.
Thank you. Sophia is.
But also, I feel that the people here in Angola are very, very friendly. Nice. If you lack language skills, as we all do in our little group, so you can use the body language or maybe try to use similar phrases or something, and people are very helpful. So I want to, if anyone is listening, to inspire people to go anyways, even if you don't speak fluent Portuguese.
Nice.
So,
I'm glad you have this impression of Angolan people. We really like to be friendly. Michaela, you also speak Spanish, and you also not struggling that much getting in touch with people, interacting. Sometimes I see you just talking and interacting with some people.
Yeah, no, but it's like Sophia says that you are very friendly here in Angola, and I think that even if we know when you meet people here and you know some words, I think they're very glad that you know some words, and it's easy to start conversation even though we don't speak the same languages. Yeah. But I'm registered at a course in Sweden in Portuguese. Oh. So I learned some, but it was a little bit too little time to learn before traveling here, because the course started now in this September. Yeah. So, but Spanish really, it helps to know Spanish if you're going to speak Portuguese.
Yeah. And how has it been so far, being in Angola for these days? Angola has a lot of challenges, and you already told us that Angolan people are friendly. You are trying some cultural pieces of Angola. You are learning Kizomba dance style. You have eaten with me pirão com feijão e carne assada e lombi. You are visiting some places. You also like the countryside. So what can you share about your experience so far?
It has been, I think so far, it
Yeah.
has been amazing. I think it's very fun, the cultural activities we do in Kizomba, and the teacher is very friendly, and the
Yeah.
same there, he teaches us in Portuguese, and
Yeah.
we keep on as good as we can.
Yeah.
And also, I think, how do you say it, like the climate or the nature in Angola is very beautiful. When
Yeah.
we go a little bit out of in Wambo,
Yeah.
there is beautiful views, and
Yeah, you've been to Bailundu, right?
yeah.
And
I think it's called. We went to this big stone.
yeah.
What is called?
Yeah.
Coca stone? No.
Yeah, that it's written Coca?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we saw the beautiful views there, and
Yeah.
also met some local people. And I think this weekend we go to Lobito,
Yeah.
outside or in Benguela.
Yeah.
So we look forward to that as well.
You're gonna see the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that hot there, according to what some people are telling me, because I'm
Okay.
also from there. It's a nice city. I hope you folks will enjoy it as well. What can you share as well in being here for these days?
As Sophia said already about the people, but I would like to say that as well, because it has been so nice to meet the Angolan people
Yeah.
that are friendly and so helpful
Yeah.
and welcoming.
Yeah.
Here we are at the university every day, and people just it's really really nice
Yeah.
meetings, really.
Yeah.
And the countryside, like now we're in the city, we have an apartment, we stay in an apartment, which is nice, but it's lovely to get out of the city, like
Yeah.
we've done the 2 weekends we've been here, we've left the city.
Yeah. Sounds like
The countryside is beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like the weather in Wambu is not that much challenging for
No.
you coming from Sweden.
It's rainy, it's grey, it's
Yeah.
windy. At least in Gothenburg, where I live,
Yeah.
windy. It's a kind of in between weather a lot. You would find it cold, but it's not cold enough to be like a proper winter with snow and white. So it's quite nasty weather often, not always.
And sometimes we jog early in the morning at 6 a.m.
We go running.
yeah.
We have a nice morning run with Edmundo.
Yes.
Too early, right?
Perfect.
Too early.
Well, too early normally, but here it's perfect.
Yeah, because
6 in the morning we go running.
in Sweden at that time in the winter it's dark, so it's quite dark all day. There's a few hours of light.
Yeah, yeah,
And where I live in the middle of Sweden, there is snow now,
yeah.
-degrees, and very
Ooh,
cold. People
ooh.
are skiing, preparing for Christmas, and
it's
so it's
beautiful, right?
nice. But it's very different here. But I like our morning runs, and I thought it was funny the other day you had your. Like your,
Yeah,
what do you
yeah.
call it?
It's like a hat.
Yeah,
something
hat
like that.
on, because it was
Because-
cold, and I don't.
But you
think-
didn't feel anything. You
No.
were even like
with t-shirts.
with t-shirts. Yeah.
So it's different what you're used to. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I really like Angola so far. It's beautiful, like Sophia said about the countryside.
Mm-hmm.
And also the people, and since I dance salsa and bachata back home,
Yeah.
I love that we're able
You're a
to
dancer.
learn. No, I wouldn't say that. Our teacher, though, he is a dancer, but yeah. So I really enjoy kizomba and semba. And the music is so nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and being in Angola can also be a little bit challenging when it comes to safety. We are aware that not all the streets are safe, especially at specific times, some zones. I imagine that can give you folks a little bit of maybe anxiety or that sense of not feeling enough safe. Do you think you could share something about that?
Yeah, of course, it is different for us as expats when we come here, because it is a lot of people are watching us, they are looking at us, and we know that it might not so smart to walk in the night in some areas. But I think at daytime we feel kind of safe and familiar.
Okay.
But of course, we need to pay more attention.
Yeah.
And of course, you need to pay it when you travel. You need to pay attention of being robbed, as well as being, for example, food poisoning and everything like that. So, of course, it can cause some anxiety that you need to think a lot more than if you're just home and take a walk at night by yourself. We can do that here. So we are stuck in the apartment.
Yeah. Stuck in the apartment.
Yeah. Okay. Stuck in the apartment might be a bit harsh, but I mean, we take a taxi to a restaurant. We don't walk there.
Yeah,
so you have another way of thinking.
Yeah. And you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah, you have to look after yourself.
Yeah, it's important to make sure that you are safe. Michaela.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, the thing that you said the other day to us, like it's also feeling of safety. Like in Sweden, I've been robbed when I was in Stockholm once, and it's my home country, and I should feel safe there. So it's also, I thought it was interesting you saying, and it's a feeling, because it really is. You could feel that you're safe as well. And also, it could go the other way around, like maybe you're very like alert to, because you heard that, I have to, when you go to Angola or other countries, you have to be aware all the time, and maybe you're exaggerating the situation as well. And that it's more unsafe than it is. So,
How about you, Sofia?
Well, I just want to say we need to think about this. We need to pay attention. We need to think about if we go out, what do I bring, and how do I wear it? How do I act? This is not new for us. We've experienced this before. And when you go to a new place, this is one part that you need to get to know. Where is it safer? Or where is it less safe to walk? And when walking when it's dark, that is something we probably should avoid. But then sometimes you do it a little bit anyways. It happens, but
Good. Michaela, you just said that you had been robbed in Stockholm.
Yes.
And some people may get shocked, like, Stockholm? Robbed? Because for some people, Sweden is a very safe country. And some even imagine that almost everything is perfect and very, very well organized and stuff. How can you help us understand better the reality there, if you would like to?
Yeah.
Even in terms of you work for the health department or area, for example, we imagine that everything goes smoothly and well, and you folks don't have health challenges as we in Angola have.
Yeah. I think there is also struggles in Sweden, like but the thing that is different, I think, is that we have police. We can call the police, or we can call the ambulance. So we have it's if something happens. There is it's closer to, I don't know how to explain.
If you have an issue and you call the police or the ambulance, they can come in at least how long?
It depends where you live in Sweden. But it's it could take 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
But normally 10 to 15, I think.
Okay.
I don't know exactly. But it feels like we have this safety that we can call someone. And but in healthcare we struggle. We don't have that much staff, and also people are waiting long for surgery.
Oh, really?
And things like
how long?
Maybe
about
surgery.
Yeah.
It depends on what surgery it is, but if you have like you can wait for months. If you need a surgery, orthopedic surgery, that's not life depending. Now, then you can wait for months and months, or even more.
Okay.
Bladder. If you need surgery on your heart, maybe it's a little bit less. So it depends. But we have Since as long as I've been working as a nurse, we've had problems with the
Yeah.
queues for surgery.
Yeah.
And it got worse during the COVID.
Yeah.
I think all over the world, probably. But
Yeah.
sorry, I just want to say as well, the waiting time in the emergency department, it's also long.
Yeah. Sophia
Often
wants
it's
to
very long.
add something.
I just wanted to add that in Sweden and a lot of European countries, we have an aging population. That means that our healthcare service and also like community services needs to be expanded a little bit, and that means that it's hard for us to recruit with enough of nurses, and that also means like the long waiting times, especially because I work a little bit more on the countryside
Yeah.
than Sophia, for example, so the waiting time can be over a year.
Over a year.
Yeah, and also other services as police that can take hours for them to arrive. So
Hours.
Yeah, I think Sweden also has some struggles right now with the recruiting people in different areas.
Yeah.
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 And nurses we lack nurses. We have, I would say, many departments at the hospital or where you work as well, maybe.
Yeah.
We have, it's not, we have, how do you say?
Sufficient.
No, but we have surgery wards closed because we can't, we don't have enough nurses. It's often the nurses that's the problem.
Yeah.
That we lack.
So you can say you have hospital beds
Yeah.
and like big wards, but they are, as Sophia said, that we don't have enough nurses to have them open.
Yeah.
We have 8 beds in my unit, and
8
we have
beds.
6 open.
And how big is the hospital where you are where you are
tell
working
you.
at?
And the amount of, I don't know, but it's a big, it's one of the biggest hospitals in Sweden. Yeah.
And
Yeah, Michaela.
yeah, we have 18 patients at my ward. And also, but we don't have specialists. Sometimes we need to send our patient to a different hospital in the north of Sweden.
How far? Like by road?
It depends on how fast they need to be there. If it's a planned surgery, they can take the bus. There's a certain bus that takes patient there, or if it's really they need to go quickly, it's urgent. There is a helicopter and also airplane.
That's helpful.
Yeah, but sometimes, since the weather, they cannot go with the helicopter, or the helicopter is already taking another patient.
And it's all for free. You don't have to pay for that, right? For these health services.
Taxes pays for it.
And there is some the patients pay a small amount themselves. So the healthcare is not 100% for free, but it's a limited amount, and the rest is paid by the government.
And do low socioeconomic people can afford such contributions that they have to pay? Usually, according to the living cost that
in general, yes, there will always be some people living in poverty, but we have social services that can help them as well if that's the case. So yeah, I would say that people can manage.
I think there is a limit, no?
Yeah, there
you
is.
pay per night at the hospital.
Per night.
Yeah, I don't know exactly now. I know what it was before, but it could have changed.
Every citizen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. At any hospital, you have to pay per night some amount.
I think so.
Apart from the taxes that you.
Yeah, but it's a minor part of the real cost because it's very expensive. Yeah. The healthcare is very expensive, so you pay a minor.
But you don't pay for the X-ray or or the blood test or the medication. Medication is free at the hospital. Yeah, so that you don't have to pay. So some things you need to pay a small amount, like Sophia said. And I also think that some transport is also some fee for transport, but I'm not exactly sure when or how and how.
Nice. We are taking now a small break just to update you that might be joining us just now. This is our special Ispsn podcast from Nascente Higher Polytechnic Institute in Wambu, Angola. We, apart from teaching and the service we offer to communities, Sol Nascente is also part of international and cooperation initiatives, one of which being the Erasmus Plus program, the European Union initiative for university students mobility and exchange program. And we have visitors in Wambu at Sol Nascente from the Gothenburg University, and we are having this lively conversation on their experience in being international students in Angola. We are starting our second half of this podcast, where they are going to talk a little bit more about why they selected the topic they are studying for their masters, and how is it going, and what are the expectations for the next steps, and how Sol Nascente is or can help them achieve their goals, etc. So can we continue talking about that? I know Michaela and Sofia are studying traumatic brain injuries. My curiosity is why this topic? What are the motivations behind studying such a complex and delicate issue?
First of all, because it's related to neuroscience, and it has to be, since that's what we're studying. And then we were thinking it's a big problem globally. Really. There are many people with traumatic brain injuries, especially from road traffic accidents, violence. In our country, Sweden, it's more common with elderly people that fall, these kind of injuries. But it causes severe disabilities and deaths. And, so it's a big problem. And when we, obviously, I work with that as well. So I meet the most severe injured patients. And we work a lot with to avoid secondary injury. Which is, and that's a core aspect in this problem.
For those who don't know, which type of injuries are those?
It means if you have a traumatic brain injury, there is say there is an accident, a car accident. You have for example, a bleeding somewhere in the intracranial bleeding. That when that's happened, you can't. It's already happened. There's nothing you can do about it. Maybe you need surgery. You can remove the hematoma. But then after that, you can have loads of complications that would give you much. It would lead to much worse outcome. And
it can affect your ability to think, to process clearly. Maybe your memory, your or your space and time orientation and stuff like that.
Say, for example, you get low blood pressure or you don't have enough oxygen. That would lead to ischemia in the brain. So it will become like an infarctus. With it could be, all these symptoms that you could, or sequelae that you could live with, paralysis or cognitive problems.
Impairments,
or worse. So we work a lot with that, and there's many things you can do to optimize the patient.
It's a very relevant topic to study.
And the traffic, there's a lot that needs to be done about the traffic in the world. And Angola.
Of course, While you have more cases caused by falls, I think here it's traffic accidents, which is I think the second most, second biggest cause of death in Angola. I think after malaria, I think it's traffic accidents. Possibly, Michaela.
I think because I choose to study neuroscience because it's so interesting with the brain, since it controls like our speech, the way that we are able to swallow everything that like moving,
the command center,
sight, like everything. So that is interesting. And also, like for traumatic brain injury, it affects the whole society, especially here in sub-Saharan Africa, because the main cases is young males, and they're supposed to be the ones working, contributing to their family, contributing to the society. So it affects the society as well as at an individual level, at higher levels. And also, it's something that you could prevent. It's not it don't have to happen if we have better security while driving, or then it's a problem. It could be prevented. And not as many people had to die, so it's an important topic.
It's something that we can avoid by controlling our behavior and trying to be more mindful.
To help people.
And Sofia, you have interest and you are studying diabetes, and especially for like gestational diabetes, right?
Yes.
It's another complex topic.
Yeah, it is. So my topic is less urgent than Michaela's and Sofia's, because I am more interested in public health and non-communicable diseases. And
what are those ones, non-communicable diseases?
It is diseases that is not transmitted in between people, so it's not infectious diseases. It's like asthma, hypertension, diabetes, cancer, etc. But for me, the problem is that we have a double burden of disease globally right now. So we have like a lot of African countries, Asian countries, and South American countries that both have these urgent problems. For example, traffic emergencies. And they also have a big burden of chronic diseases. And chronic diseases is like less likely to be in the light, because chronic diseases is not I don't know, it's not, it doesn't have so much resources when you search for funding and things like that. So, but diabetes affects the society a lot. Because you are less likely to age properly, and for example, diabetes affects the whole system. As if you have a high blood sugar, your whole system will have an inflammation. And if you, for example, have an ulcer for some reason, a wound, it don't heal properly, and you can get a very long infection, severe infection. You can die of the infection. So it's,
you can even lose sight.
Yes, you can lose sight. Your kidneys can get into kidney failure, and you can have a heart attack and stroke as well. So I'm more interested about the prevention instead of the cure.
I also believe in
so that's why I chose to become a diabetes specialized nurse, because I want to work like in the field, in the public health, and also, for example, to mix our professions. If a person with undiagnosed diabetes get very hurt with bleeding and different complications, that patient would be in a more severe case than if a healthy patient would get injured. So it's very important to control chronic diseases as well. And if a society has a lot of chronic diseases, those people can't like work properly and can't build the country. So,
of course,
and also when it comes to gestational diabetes, if a woman is untreated with a gestational diabetes, she might need a cesarean section. And if that is not available, it can be very complicated to give birth and even lead to death, and very traumatic.
That's tough.
It's very tough.
That's tough.
So now I'm very interested in diabetes, but I think that it's a very important disease to be serious about.
I can sense
and to
it.
treat.
Based on what you are saying, do you think it would be reasonable to say that maybe governments in general do not pay the due attention they should?
I think worldwide governments don't pay attention to chronic diseases. I think they are more interested just in outbreaks, for example. What should I say? Ebola outbreak or the pandemic. But they also say that diabetes and obesity is the biggest pandemic worldwide, and no one really pays attention to it.
How do you explain this I would say, this apparent neglection towards chronic diseases in general?
I'm not sure, but I think it's also like it's a heavy, how do you say, it's like a heavy economic burden, because if you're going to screen in all countries, you will get a shock, because I think a lot of patients is unaware about that they have a chronic disease.
So there is some type of an avoidance?
I think so. I'm not sure, but I think so.
That's the impression that we can get.
That is the impression, because it's very heavy to, if we screen like populations, we need to take care for them. And I guess it would be a high amount of patients that we will find in different chronic diseases, in hypertension, maybe in asthma as well, and chronic care is also expensive, even if it's not that expensive, the care Sofia has explained. It is expensive because it's a lifelong care. It's not like 4 months in hospital that you need to control your diabetes the rest of your life. And being with you when you are doing your job, I'm learning a lot, and understanding that for example, insulin treatment is one of the most I think
difficult,
insulin is like the 6th most expensive liquid in the world.
The most expensive liquid in the world.
So it's very expensive treatment. And if you have, for example, type 1 diabetes, you need insulin.
Which is the most severe.
The most severe form of diabetes. You need injections on daily basis, during night. You have the rapid insulin, the fast insulin, the short term and the long term insulin. So it's quite a heavy treatment. So I think, I'm not sure, but I haven't really learned about the economic system here when it comes to how to cover the costs for patients with chronic diseases, if they have insurances, I have more to learn.
Most people do not have it.
And I guess if you don't have a proper insurance that can cover the cost of insulin, I guess it's very hard.
It is.
I can imagine it's very hard.
It is. That's nice. We are closing our session, and I think there are a lot of questions that I didn't ask. I'll give you the mic so you can say anything that you feel it's important to share more to finish our conversation on your experience in being international students in Angola, in Wambo, at Nascente Institute.
I think it's lovely to have the opportunity, and also I feel that it's so nice to meet nurses, because we are one like profession, even if we're different origins. So
you're an international family.
Exactly. Exactly. And also chronic diseases or more urgent diseases, they are the same in different countries. The patients are the same, but we have different way of managing it, or different resources. So I think it's very good that we can have this exchange.
I'm imagining that this is your first time in Angola, and it won't be the last one.
I know. Hopefully we come back.
Nice. Michaela?
I want to I'm also very thankful for being here. And and like Sofia said, I thought it was so interesting meeting other nurses, because I feel like we are connected, even though we are from different countries and have different backgrounds, but we are connected in our professions. So I would encourage students to become nurse, nice. Because it's special profession to have. It's something special to be a nurse. So
I can feel your excitement.
Yes.
Your joy in when it's special.
It's very special.
Caring for people's lives.
Yes.
Sofia?
I will just say that I agree with my friends here. And thank you so much for having us, and for everything that you and Nascente have done for us. You made it possible.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
We should maybe say thank you, Gunilla, as well. She has been such a strong, helpful person. She made this happen as well.
And thanks to you, Edmundo.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. There will be a second time visiting Angola after you folks go back to Sweden, right?
I hope so.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah?
Yeah.
for sure.
For sure. Yeah, we give thanks as well to the team that is taking care of this session, which is led by Ginilson Aires, Wari, and Graciano dos Santos, and Viana Catumbela, as well as Alex Cadumbo. Thank you for covering this program, for helping us technically, and allow us to have this lively conversation here. And thank you also for you who followed this session. We hope to come back and offer you a second special episode in English of the Ispsn podcast. It was really a pleasure to share with you this session, and I wish you all the best. Bye-bye.
Sente-se sobrecarregado com as tarefas? Tem dificuldades em se concentrar? Você não está sozinho. No nosso gabinete, oferecemos um espaço acolhedor e confidencial para você conversar sobre as suas dificuldades e encontrar melhores soluções. Através de atividades personalizadas, desenvolvemos suas habilidades e fortalecemos sua autoestima. Venha conhecer o nosso gabinete e descubra como podemos te ajudar a alcançar todo o teu potencial. Faça a sua consulta no portal ou pelo número de telefone 921 28 98 28. Instituto Superior Politécnico Nascente, a Escola do Ambo, há 12 anos a inovar e a liderar.